it's Julia, and welcome back to my channel. This week my thrift store had a half price sale on a lot of their clothing, and I picked up a lot of jeans to upcycle. And I decided to make some of my purses, and I'll link that video up above where I make purses out of the tops of my jeans. I get two purses off of one pair of jeans, but what I'm left with are the legs. And so I thought I would show you today just a couple projects that I have been making with using up some of the leftover legs. Both of these are very simple projects, but a lot of fun and a good way to use up those scraps. This is from the very bottom of the jean. This is the original hem, folded down, boxed on the inside so it stands up. Really cute, just to cover a container. Love them for little plants. You can also, of course, put your sewing supplies in, scraps on your table, anything like that. And then also it is embellished with one of the scrappy flowers that I make. And this is the other project. Just layers of the denim. I attach it and then wash it and then add the buttons. I'll share the link to my buttons for you too today. These I love. They're just very boho, bohemian looking, really fun craft buttons to use. For the little container cover, I do use approximately 12 inches from the bottom of a pants leg. I'm just going to cut this off quickly with my cutter. My next step is sewing across the bottom with my right sides together, and I'm just going to take a 1/2 inch seam allowance. My seam is sewn. My next step is I'm going to finger press the seam open, and then I'm going to stitch across both of these ends approximately 1 inch in, just to give it a boxed bottom so that it stands up. I do have my corners boxed now and finished. I'm just turning this inside out. This project is so simple and it's almost done. It's just a matter of doing any embellishment or decorating on it that you want. I did make these last year for my little summer shop in with the flea market, and covered plants. I had plants put in them. I used like Gerber daisies, succulents, geraniums, all sorts of different plants, and they were really good sellers for me. They're just fun. This one, for instance, I did decorate with a little piece of red rickrack, but you could do lace. You could do. There's just so many different things that you can embellish them with. And then of course these scrappy flowers are always a nice little addition. So that is how you make these. Now the larger the pants leg, of course, the bigger the little container is going to be. For instance, this is a men's sized jean, and this is going to be a bigger plant, or a bigger plant will be able to fit in that. Now on to making the little flowers. For these, you can either use a die and use a big shot. That's what, a lot of mine are cut, but I also use just random circles, and those make just adorable ones also. And I'll show you a couple examples of both of those and how I make them. For the circle ones, I literally just cut circles, and I do like an organic look to them, so they're not perfect circles. This will be the bottom layer, which is approximately 3 or 4 inches across. And like I said, they're not perfect. They're not even. I do like to have about 6 layers for each flower, and I do vary the types of denim in each flower. The next layer is going to be a little bit smaller. And again, the next layer a little bit smaller yet. I'm going to cut this bottom layer down just a bit. It's a little bit too big for me. And now this one will be 1 flower. The dies that I like using for this, if you do have a Sizzix Big Shot, is the first one is the one by Doodlebug Designs, and it's flower layer and leaf number 2. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a larger flower. You'll see it when I cut them. And it's got 3 different layers on there. Another one is the Holtz Alteration die, the Tattered Florals. I believe there's a big and a small. This is the small one of the Tattered Florals. I can get usually 4 layers cut on my Big Shot at once, and so I'm just going to get some layers cut out here. I'm going to run the Tattered Floral one first. I'm just covering my layers. I have 4 layers here, and then making my sandwich. I am going to add a piece of cardstock to the top of this just to help everything cut, all the layers cut properly. Sometimes I do need a little bit of help, and I'm just going to clip a few of the threads that are hanging on here. I bundled up all the layers, and I have 6 layers here. One of them I turned backwards or inside out. I thought that would make a nice added look to it. And that's another layer, another flower. The last flower that I'm going to be making is the flower layers and leaf number 2 by Doodlebug Designs. I'm just going to lay my layers on top. Notice how I'm off centering these a little, so I'm staggering the petals. And now what I like to do with these is take them to my sewing machine and just go back and forth in the middle to keep all the layers together. And then I wash these and dry them, and to get the fraying really going. To wash them, I like to stick them in a pillowcase or some kind of laundry bag just so stuff doesn't go all over. And so I'm going to just wash these, but I wanted to show you again how they look when they're all finished. Here's a close-up of it. You can see the frays and all the different layers. They get a lot of texture to them, and they get quite full. They're really a fun little scrappy look to them. This one I added just a piece of embroidered doily. I just cut pieces of it off, but you can certainly add a different color, or a fabric yo-yo would be cute. Here are the samples of these buttons that I get from New Chick, it's called. But I'll link it down below if any of you are interested. These are the 1-inch buttons. They are wooden, but they are sealed, and so I've been washing them on things that, or putting them on items that aren't washed a lot, but maybe washed occasionally. But they're wonderful for crafts. They have that just real fun hand spun look to them. And that's what I put in the center of this one. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up the couple little things that I've done here, and I'll show you pictures at the end of my finished little bag that I made. I'm going to decorate that, and also some of the flowers that I made. So I know this was a quick and easy little tutorial, but I'm really trying to clean up some scraps on my table. Let me know what you think of it. I hope you all have a very creative week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.